Hello, my darling critters! The first 3 episodes of Season 2 of the Legend of Vox Machina animated series has been released on Amazon Prime. Last year, I analyzed how the story was structured from a D&D campaign to a series format. This year, I just want to do a quick review of the series and talk a bit about the original Vox Machina campaign. Who am I, you may ask? I am the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. Unfortunately, the animated series was released amidst OGL-Gate. That's where the creators of Dungeons & Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, a subsidiary of Hasbro, has been facing a huge backlash from D&D fans for upcoming changes to their open gaming license, OGL, that can potentially kill third-party creators who have chosen to base their creative endeavors on the D&D system based on the promise of the original open gaming license, which made the D&D system a creative, collaborative ecosystem. It appears that the rug has been pulled out from under those creators, and like I said, there is a huge backlash. A quick Google will show that many people, like tens of thousands, have dropped from D&D's most lucrative service, D&D Beyond, a monthly subscription product, and many are talking about boycotting the upcoming D&D movie. So there's a question of how this could impact Critical Role, which uses a D&D system in their campaigns. But Critical Role has been smart in trying to segregate their IP from D&D where it's possible. And one of their projects that is totally isolated from Dungeons & Dragons, the brand, is the Legend of Vox Machina animated series. You'll note there's never any mention of the words Dungeons & Dragons, and much of the specific D&D lore that Vox Machina used in their tabletop campaign has been removed or renamed in the animated series. For example, there's no mention of Vecna, which is just called the Whispered One, and there is no mention of Bigby, aka the name of the hand spells that Scanlan uses. He just calls it Scanlan's Hand. I was very curious in Season 2 how they would handle the Raven Queen, which I believe is considered D&D IP. Or is it? If you know, let me know down in the comments. And while you're there, or even if you're not there commenting, please give this channel some love and like this video and subscribe to the channel. But to be safe, they are apparently calling the Raven Queen the Matron of the Raven. I guess we'll eventually find out how much of an impact the OGL fiasco will have on the viewership of the Legend of Vox Machina. There's a lot of very upset D&D fans out there who wanted Critical Role to come out stronger than the tweet they released, but others recognize that Critical Role is likely shackled by contracts they have with Wizards of the Coast, and they said as much as they were able. To me, it sounded like Critical Role was standing by independent creators. Anyway, let's talk about the animated series. Season 2 is of course based on the Chroma Conclave campaign. The source is the Critical Role live tabletop campaign, which I was obsessed with, like many others. And according to the Critical Role wiki, the fan wiki, which is a font of information if you want to know anything about Critical Role, the Chroma Conclave campaign spanned 44 episodes, which is about 180 hours of gameplay. Will the entire story arc be boiled down into Season 2? Somehow I kind of doubt it, but maybe? What would that leave for season 3? I can't believe they're going to do the Tyrion Darrington campaign because we'd lose Scanlan, the most popular character, I think. But that means if we don't do Tyrion Darrington, we'd skip to the final storyline with Vecna. I mean, the Whispered One. And I would love, love, love to see that storyline, but only if they get Joe Manganiello to reprise the role of Archon the Cruel, and Critical Role fans will know what I'm talking about because it is the most epic scene in Critical Role history. But then that would be the end of the Vox Machina stories. I wonder if they would go on and do the Mighty Nine or Bell's Hills. Who knows? So the first 3 episodes of The Legend of Vox Machina should, story-wise, set up the conflict. In episode 1, Rise of the Chroma Conclave, we see what the great evil they're going to be fighting throughout the season. The Chroma Conclave. There are 4 massive ancient dragons who normally never work together, they made that clear, but for some reason they are. A traditional fire-breathing red dragon, Thordak the Cinder King, and we see a white dragon that breathes frost, a green dragon that breathes poison, and a black dragon that breathes acid. The Chroma Conclave decimates Tal'Dorei and Vox Machina's stronghold. They escape through Keyless Tree Portal to Whitestone, bringing as many Tal'Dorei survivors as they can, including our favorite, Gilmore. We get a transition from season 1 insofar we're getting reacquainted with Whitestone, Percy's sister, Cassandra, and we get a peek at Grog's sword that he picked up from Lord Briarwood. In episode 2, The Trials of Vasselheim, the party travels to Vasselheim to seek help. Percy thinks his status as a noble will help. It doesn't. Grog keeps thinking people are saying bidet, which of course is a joke from the tabletop campaign.
You respond better if you say good day and if you have your head.
If we say bidet?
Good day. Good day.
Bidet.
So very close.
The 2 guards closest to you within their helmets, their eyes narrow and they look at each other and shake their heads.
Oh, bidet, bidet.
Your accent is perfect, don't change a thing.
Bidet. Bidet.
Good day indeed.
I thought it was funny. I'm not sure if others who aren't familiar with the original Vox Machina campaign would think that's funny too. We get glimpses of a woman with black hair. The Raven Queen? Or I mean, the matron of the Raven? I don't know. Grog's sword keeps whispering it's hungry. But it of course just makes Grog think that he's hungry, which I thought was quite funny. Grog goes on a side quest to the Temple of the Storm Lord, again a scene from the tabletop campaign. We finally get to Slayer's Take, a group of mercenaries, and meet Kasha and Zara, 2 guest campaigners from the tabletop, reprising their role. I was kind of hoping that Felicia Day would reprise her role of the mage who is an awkward librarian. I don't think she's part of this campaign. I'm sure she's not, but her character is in Vasselheim, so maybe she'd fit in. Oh, and we can't forget about Victor, the black powder dealer, maybe everyone's favorite NPC run by Matt Mercer. Victor isn't quite as over the top as I remember, but we just got a glimpse of him. And yes, we get a foreshadow that Ripley may be in the shadows. Eventually the party meets Ocessa the Sphinx, who tells them they need to recover the vestiges of Divergence, powerful artifacts created during the Calamity. So I think we know where we're going in season 2. little mini quests to find artifacts. At least that's what I'm guessing. Because in episode 3, The Sunken Tomb, the party seeks one of the artifacts. And they are joined by Kasha and Zara. They go to a tomb hidden under a lake, but are attacked by fishmen. Sahugan. They eventually find the tomb of Perv, but they spring a trap which apparently kills Vex. Now we know, the fans know, where this is going. It's going to start the Vax storyline with his connection to the Raven Queen. Matron of the Raven. This brings us to something I haven't mentioned. Flashbacks. We get flashbacks to Vax and Vex's childhood. And we saw that last season with Percy. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of flashbacks. I think they pull you out of the story, but I understand they're used to establish backstory and character arcs. I'm curious to see where these flashbacks will take us. That's all I'm going to say. Overall, I enjoyed these episodes. We got to see Grog get his beard. For Critical Role fans, we saw a lot of moments memorable in the tabletop campaign. I'm wondering if the season is going to be a bunch of mini quests to find the artifacts, and then maybe a showdown with one of the dragons. Remember, in tabletop, a lot of the adventuring is aimed at leveling up the characters so they are powerful enough to fight the big bosses, but that's not something you can really do in an animated series. I have to admit, I think I enjoyed season 1 more, the Briarwood storyline. But we're still early in this season and only time will tell. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the first episodes of season 2 of The Legend of Vox Machina. Until we meet again, may all the books you read and campaigns you play and their adaptations be blessed.